Welcome to Sleep with Myth. Close your eyes and let the world fade away. Tonight we drift beyond time, where gods dream and stories remember their light. Long before the storms learned to roar, long before thunder had a voice, there was a golden mask that held the true face of Raijin, the god of thunder, the keeper of storm memories, the heart that beat behind every rumble in the sky. But one night, the mask vanished, and with it, Raijin forgot who he was. In a quiet coastal village lived Hannah, a girl who loved storms more than sunshine. Every night, she climbed the cliffs to watch lightning dance over the sea. While others hid indoors, she listened to the low hum that trembled beneath each flash, a hum she felt in her bones. Her grandmother always warned, asterisk, if thunder ever falls silent, child, run, asterisk. But Hannah didn't run, because on one strange night, the thunder did fall silent, completely, and Hannah did not flee. She climbed higher. At the cliff's edge, the sky felt wrong. Clouds hung frozen, as if held in place by an unseen hand. Lightning flickered weakly, like a candle sputtering in the wind. And then, a single object dropped from the sky. Not a bolt, not rain, but a mask. It landed gently in the grass, glowing with soft gold light. Hannah approached slowly. The mask looked ancient, beautiful, heavy with meaning. Carved spirals curled along its surface, shimmering like trapped lightning. Hannah whispered, "Are you calling me?" The mask hummed, a low, trembling sound that rippled through her chest. When she reached out and touched it, thunder roared back to life. The sky split open. A massive figure descended through the storm. Not a man, and yet shaped like one, built from crackling clouds and trembling bursts of light. But his face was empty, a blank void where features should be. Hannah gasped. The being stumbled across the cliff, barely holding his form together. Lightning sputtered around him, fading, flickering. He raised his head toward Hannah. He had no eyes, but she felt his gaze like a trembling wind. "Who?" The storm being whispered, voice crackling like brittle thunder. "Who am I?" Hannah clutched the golden mask. "You're Raijin." The giant flinched. Lightning sparked violently across his body, tearing the clouds that formed his shoulders. He stepped back in pain. "I do not remember." Hannah swallowed hard. "You've forgotten because you lost this." She held up the mask. The golden surface glowed brighter, pulsing like a beating heart that belonged to him. Raijin staggered forward. "That is mine." The cliffs shook under his weight. "But someone stole it," Hannah whispered. "And now you're fading." Raijin's form flickered, the storm inside him collapsing inward. "Yes," he breathed, voice cracking like a broken sky. "Without my face, my storm dies." Hannah stared at the mask, at its spirals, at the faint hum she could now feel in her bones. "Who took it from you?" she asked. Raijin raised a trembling hand toward the horizon, toward the mountains where storm clouds never reached. "Something that hates the sky." The mask dimmed. The wind died. Raijin fell to one knee. I cannot chase it, he whispered. I cannot even hold the storm. Hannah stepped forward. Then I'll go. Raijin's blank void of a face turned toward her sharply. You are mortal. Yes, Hannah said steadily. But you need your face. And I can hear your storm. The mask glowed again, as if agreeing. Thunder rumbled weakly across the sea. Raijin bowed his head. If you take my mask, he whispered, you walk the road of storms. Hannah lifted it carefully. I already do. The world shifted. Wind curled around her ankles, recognizing her, claiming her. Raijin placed a massive hand over his empty face. When you wear my mask, he warned, you will see every storm I ever carried. Hannah nodded. I'm ready. Raijin's voice softened. You must travel to Kaminari Gorge. That is where the thief fled. That is where my face was broken and where the storm was first stolen. Hannah pressed the mask to her chest. A spark of thunder pulsed through it. The sky trembled. Raijin whispered one final truth. If you find my face, you will find the one who wants thunder to die. Lightning cracked. The mask pulled Hannah forward, toward the mountains, toward the gorge, toward the truth behind the stolen storm. And the silent thunder followed her. The golden mask, Raijin's lost face, hung from her back by braided rope, glowing faintly like a trapped sunrise. Every few breaths, a soft pulse rippled through it, like a heartbeat trying to remember its rhythm. The world around her felt different now. Thunder no longer rolled overhead. Clouds no longer drifted with purpose. The wind moved, but without a voice. It was as if the sky had forgotten how to breathe, and Hannah was walking into the silence left behind. Kaminari Gorge was said to be cursed. No birds flew over it. No storms passed through it. Thunder died as soon as it reached the canyon's lip. But Hannah had to go there, for Raijin, for the storm, and for herself, because she felt the mask's heartbeat aligning with her own. She followed a narrow mountain path, her lantern hooked at her belt, its flame trembling whenever the mask pulsed. As she walked, she whispered, "Show me what you want me to see." The mask glowed gently. A breeze rose, and a faint sound drifted into her ear. Not thunder, not wind, drumming, deep, rhythmic, ancient, like someone tapping on the bones of the earth. Hannah froze. That's not normal wind. The mask hummed in agreement. She followed the sound into a narrow ravine where moss glowed faintly blue. Rain clouds gathered overhead, but not a single drop fell. Hannah lifted the mask slightly. "What are you trying to tell me?" A whisper echoed through the ravine. Soft, metallic, follow. Hannah turned sharply. "Hello!" The ravine answered with silence. But the mask pulsed again. Once, twice, 3 times. A signal. She understood. The drumming was not thunder. It was a memory. Raijin's memory. And she was hearing it through the mask. As she descended deeper, the path opened into an ancient stone bridge. It arched over a dark chasm where mist coiled like sleeping serpents. Halfway across the bridge stood a shrine. Small, weathered, covered in lightning-marked sigils, and kneeling in front of it was a man made of stormlight, shaped only from shoulders down. No face, no features, just a body of trembling clouds and faint sparks. Hannah felt her breath catch. Raijin? The figure turned. It was not Raijin. Its chest was cracked. Lightning leaked from its joints. Its movements were jerky, like a broken puppet. A hollow thunder. A remnant of Raijin's essence. Something left behind when his mask was stolen. The creature staggered toward her. Hannah lifted the golden mask instinctively. The hollow thunder froze, then slowly bowed its head to her, as if recognizing her as Raijin's chosen. Hannah approached carefully. "Did you guard this place?" The hollow thunder shivered violently. A whisper rose from it, a voice made of wind and lightning. "Danger!" Still inside, Hannah knelt. Inside the shrine, the creature nodded weakly. His form flickered. Lightning sputtered out of its chest. Hannah reached out gently. "Let me help you." The creature dissolved into a burst of pale sparks before she could touch it. Hannah gasped and staggered back. "I'm sorry." But the sparks drifted into the mask, absorbing into the golden metal like raindrops into sand. The mask grew warm. Then a voice whispered inside Hannah's mind. Raijin's voice, faint but clearer than before. Asterisk, "My echoes lead you true." Asterisk. Hannah stood slowly. "Then I'll keep following them." She approached the shrine. The drumming grew louder now, steady, relentless, like a heartbeat of stone. Hannah pushed open the wooden door. Inside, torches flickered with blue flame, unnatural, cold. An altar stood at the far end of the room. Carvings showed Raijin wearing the golden mask, wreathed in storms. Another carving showed the mask being broken, split in half by a creature with serpentine eyes and jagged wings. Hannah whispered, "A sky eater." Her grandmother's stories rushed back. Creatures who despised thunder, who fed on silence. Beings who lived only to swallow the voices of gods. And in the darkness behind the altar, something breathed, slowly, wetly. Hannah held her lantern high. "Who's there?" Something shifted. Long claws scraped stone. Two yellow eyes opened, glowing faintly. A low hiss filled the room. Half snarl, half laugh. "You brought it back." Hannah's grip tightened on the mask. "What did you do to Raijin?" The creature crept forward, reptilian, winged, its body shaped like a starving storm drake. Its voice slithered. Asterisk, "I did not steal his face." Asterisk, asterisk, "I merely broke it free." Asterisk. Hannah's pulse spiked. "Why?" The creature smiled with needle teeth. Asterisk. "Because silence is sweeter than thunder." Asterisk. It lunged. Hannah raised the mask, and the storm inside it surged. A burst of gold and lightning erupted, throwing the creature backward. It screeched, writhing as sparks burned its skin. Hannah shouted, "Give his memories back." The creature hissed, "No," then fled deeper into the shrine, into the tunnels below. Hannah ran after it. "We're not done." The mask pulsed violently in her hand. showing her flashes of broken stormlight, forgotten thunder names, and Raijin falling into darkness. Hannah whispered, "I'll fix this." She sprinted down the spiraling stone tunnel. The path ahead shook, as thunder tried, weakly, painfully, to remember itself, and Hannah chased the creature, deeper toward the place where Raijin's last memory was hidden. The tunnel spiraled downward for what felt like forever. Hannah's footsteps echoed through the narrow stone halls, each step illuminated by the faint gold glow of Raijin's mask. The deeper she went, the heavier the air became. The drumming she'd been hearing since the cliffs grew louder, not thunder, but something slower, duller, like a giant heartbeat struggling to continue. Hannah swallowed hard. "Raijin, this is your heart, isn't it?" The mask vibrated softly in her hand, a weak confirmation. The tunnel opened into a massive cavern. Stalagmites rose like broken spears. Water dripped from high stone teeth overhead. Mist curled across the floor, glowing with an eerie blue. In the center of the cavern was an enormous stone drum, cracked, scarred, covered in old lightning burns. Thunder pulsed faintly inside it, like a fading ember begging for breath. Hannah stepped forward. "This is where it happened." The mask hummed, but Hannah felt something else. Presence. Watching. Waiting. Something that wanted her afraid. She set her jaw. "Come out." A hiss slipped through the mist. "You should have left thunder to die." The Sky Eater emerged from behind the drum. Its serpentine body shimmered with fragments of stolen sound, echoes of thunder twisting across its scales, like trapped lightning trying to escape. It was larger now, stronger, feeding from Raijin's broken memory. Hannah lifted the mask. "You're draining him." The creature's wings curled around its body like shadows. "I am freeing the world from noise." "Thunder isn't noise," Hannah snapped. "It's a heartbeat." The creature bared its needle teeth. "Exactly." Then it lunged. Hannah dove aside as its claws slashed the stone where she'd stood. Sparks exploded across the cavern. The mask vibrated violently, not with fear, but with anger. For the first time, Hannah felt Raijin's presence inside it, a trembling storm desperately trying to wake. She whispered, "Help me, show me how." Lightning surged through her arms. Not enough to harm the creature, but enough to push it back. Hannah held the mask over her face. "Let me see your memories." Moon gold light flared from its spirals. Thunder crashed inside her head, not painful, but overwhelming. She saw Raijin standing before the stone drum, the Sky Eater circling him. Raijin lifting his golden mask, its eyes glowing brighter than suns. Before the creature leapt and tore it from his face. Lightning burst. Thunder screamed. Raijin fell. His mask shattered. His identity splintered into shadow. Hannah gasped as the memory ended. "You broke his face. You broke his name," the Sky Eater hissed. "He never deserved the storm." Hannah raised the mask, fire in her eyes. "Then you shouldn't have left it lying around." Lightning erupted from the mask, uncontrolled, wild, furious. The creature recoiled, wings curling to shield its eyes. Hannah charged forward, dodging its snapping jaws, and slamming the mask against the stone drum. The drum sang, a low ancient note that vibrated through the cavern and into Hannah's bones. Thunder, pure thunder. The creature shrieked. No! It lunged again, but this time Hannah was ready. She struck the drum again. Boom! The cavern shook. As Raijin's heartbeat returned, lightning shot upward, splitting stalactites into dust. The creature screamed in pain, its stolen power ripping free from its body. You can't hold thunder, Hannah cried. It isn't yours. The Sky Eater staggered, scales cracking with light. Stop! Thunder must die. Silence must live. Hannah stepped between it and the drum. Then you're not fighting Raijin anymore. She lifted the mask as it pulsed with living stormlight. You're fighting me. The Sky Eater attacked. Hannah slammed her lantern into the ground, its flame transforming into a wall of lightning that split the cavern. The creature crashed into it, howling in fury. But Hannah pushed forward, her body glowing with gold arcs of light, her heartbeat syncing with the drum. She lifted the mask, and thunder answered. It poured from the mask like a flood of living sound, not destructive, but pure, awakening. The creature shrieked, as thunder shattered its stolen power. Its wings crumbled, its claws dissolved, its body cracked open, revealing the serpent's true form, a small, shadowy spirit, trembling in terror. Hannah lowered her lantern. You were never meant to devour storms. The tiny creature hissed weakly. I only wanted the world quiet. Hannah knelt. Then listen. She placed Raijin's mask gently before it. Thunder's hum filled the cavern. Warm, steady, alive. The sound washed over the creature. It trembled, then softened. It's not frightening. No, Hannah whispered. Thunder isn't meant to scare. It's meant to remind the sky it's alive. The creature bowed its head. I'm sorry. Hannah smiled softly. So is Raijin. The stone drum glowed brighter. Thunder pulsed through it, resonating with the mask in Hannah's hands. Golden lines formed across the mask's surface, repairing the cracks, restoring the spirals, awakening the face of the storm. Raijin's true visage began to reappear. Hannah gasped. This is it. Thunder swelled in the chamber. The mask lifted on its own, hovering before her, waiting, accepting. Hannah whispered, I'm bringing you home. She lifted the mask to her chest. The cavern erupted with thunder. Light poured from the drum, from the mask, from Hannah herself, a storm remembering its name. And far above the mountains, something ancient stirred in the clouds. The cavern still shook with echoes of the awakening storm. Hannah stood in the fading glow, Raijin's golden mask cradled in her hands, now whole, restored, alive. Lightning pulsed faintly from its spirals, each beat syncing with the stone drum's final hum. But something else moved above her, a distant rumbling, a call, a breath of storm. Hannah looked toward the cavern ceiling. Raijin, you're coming back, aren't you? The mask warmed in her palms. Yes, not as a voice, but as a feeling, a certainty, a storm ready to rise. The Sky Eater's true form, a tiny trembling shadow spirit, watched her quietly, no longer snarling, no longer trying to devour the storm. It whispered, "Will he destroy me?" Hannah shook her head. "You're not the creature that hurt him anymore." The spirit curled its small tail inward. "I didn't mean to break him. I only wanted the world quiet." Hannah softened. "You didn't understand the sound, but now you do." The spirit nodded weakly. It was warm. I've never felt thunder warm. Hannah smiled gently. "Then maybe you can learn." The spirit blinked up at her. Can thunder forgive? Before Hannah could answer, the cavern roof cracked open. Brilliant white-blue lightning tore through the stone in a spiraling arc. Wind roared into the chamber, scattering dust and sparks across the cavern. The stone drum vibrated. Moonlight light poured down, and through a storm tunnel of swirling clouds, Raijin descended, but not as he had before. He was whole. His form no longer flickered or broke. His body no longer struggled to hold shape. Thunder pulsed in his chest, steady, warm, alive. And though his face was still empty, the void now glowed softly, like eyes waiting to be born. He landed with a thunderous crack, but the sound carried no malice, only recognition. "Hannah," Raijin said, voice deep like rolling skies. Hannah's breath caught. "You remember my name?" Raijin nodded. "Not all, not yet, but enough." Her hands trembled as she held the golden mask forward. "I have something of yours." Raijin knelt, lowering his vast form. Lightning curled softly from his shoulders, as if bowing in gratitude. "Hannah," he murmured, "that mask holds the memory of my beginning, my storm, my face." The tiny sky spirit squeaked and hid behind Hannah's foot. Raijin noticed, but instead of anger, he spoke gently. "You are not the one who harmed me. You were driven by loss." The spirit trembled. "I didn't know how to listen." Raijin extended a massive finger, a gesture surprisingly gentle. "Then hear me now." Thunder softened, vibrating like distant drums after rain. The sky spirit blinked in awe. "Warm, it's warm." Raijin nodded. "Thunder is not made to frighten. It is made to wake the world." A single tear of lightning rolled from the spirit's eye, and for the first time in its existence, it smiled. Raijin turned back to Hannah. "Will you return my face to me?" Hannah swallowed. "I don't know how. I've never worn the mask. I only carried it." Raijin lowered his head further until he was level with her. "You heard the storm when no one else could. You restored what even gods cannot heal alone." Hannah touched the mask. It hummed, spirals glowing brighter. Raijin whispered, "You are not returning my face. You are awakening it." Hannah stepped closer. "How do I awaken a god?" Raijin smiled, a smile that had no lips, yet warmed the air like summer lightning. Hold it to my chest. Hannah approached Raijin. His chest glowed with shifting clouds, lit by lightning that pulsed like a calm, slow heartbeat. She lifted the golden mask. The spirals brightened. Thunder rolled. The cavern trembled. She pressed the mask to his chest, and the world ignited. A shockwave burst outward. Wind spiraled in blinding arcs. Lightning curled around Raijin's entire body. Stone cracked and reformed. The cavern ceiling vanished into stormlight, and the mask, the golden mask, melted into Raijin's chest like liquid sun. Its light traveled upward, through his shoulders, his neck, his empty face, and then Raijin inhaled sharply, a deep, trembling, echoing breath. His face reformed, not sculpted, not carved, but born, eyes like storm clouds before rain, cheeks marked with golden spirals of lightning, a mouth formed from wind, a brow shaped like rolling thunder. He opened his eyes fully. The cavern bowed. The storm bowed. Even the Sky-Eater spirit bowed. Raijin had returned. He stepped toward Hannah. His newly formed face was radiant, not fearsome, not harsh, but full of gratitude. Hannah, her breath shook. You have your face back. Raijin touched his cheek gently. And I remember my name. Thunder boomed once, a joyful sound. Raijin knelt so close she could feel the warmth of his lightning. You carried my storm when it could not carry itself. You held my memory when I was lost. And you restored my name. Hannah looked up at him through misted eyes. I just listened. Raijin smiled. You heard me when no god could reach you. Lightning crackled gently around his shoulders. He extended his hand. Hannah, will you walk with me to the sky? Her heart pounded. You mean, with you? Raijin nodded. You understand thunder, better than any mortal I have ever known. The storm welcomes you. Hannah stared at his hand, at the lightning-ringed fingers, at the massive, gentle offer, at the massive, gentle offer, at the sky that now rumbled in recognition. But before she could answer, a tremor cut through the cavern. A second storm formed outside, darker, heavier, not Raijin's. Raijin's expression shifted. No, not now. The Sky-Eater spirit trembled. What is that? Raijin's golden spirals dimmed with concern. That, he whispered, is a storm that should not exist. Hannah gasped. You mean? Raijin nodded slowly. My stolen thunder has woken something else. Lightning shattered the cavern ceiling. A roar shook the mountains. And Raijin whispered, Hannah, the true thief has arrived. The cavern shook like a living thing. Stalactites cracked. Wind spiraled upward in violent coils. Outside, the sky had gone black, not with storm clouds, but with something heavier, older, wrong. Raijin stepped in front of Hannah, shielding her with a wall of lightning. Hannah, he said softly, do not move. The Sky-Eater spirit trembled behind her. Raijin. That storm, I didn't make it. Raijin's new-forged face hardened. I know. Hannah clutched her lantern. If that wasn't the creature we fought, Then who did this? Raijin turned toward the breach in the cavern ceiling, a spiral of darkness twisting far above. My thunder was stolen, he said quietly. And when thunder is torn from its god, it searches for something else to become. The cavern wind dropped to a whisper. Hannah whispered back. It became a monster. Raijin nodded once. My lost storm has taken shape. A being of thunder without a name. A storm without a heart. Hannah's grip tightened. Is it dangerous? Raijin closed his eyes. Yes, because it has no face, and no will of its own. It only knows one thing. Hunger. Lightning tore open the cavern roof completely. A monstrous silhouette landed on the mountain above, massive, skeletal, crackling with blue fire. Its body was made entirely of thunder, raw, uncontrolled, violent, like a storm forced into the shape of a beast. Hannah gasped. It looks like you, but twisted. Raijin's jaw tightened. It is me, or rather, what I would have become, if you had not restored my mask. The faceless storm beast roared. Thunder exploded in every direction, shaking the earth. Hannah staggered. Raijin, it's coming straight at us. Raijin stepped forward. I must face it. Hannah grabbed his arm. I'm coming with you. Raijin looked down at her, eyes softening. You already saved me. I won't risk your life again. Hannah shook her head fiercely. You didn't choose me because I was safe. You chose me because I could hear you. And I can hear that too. Raijin froze. You can. Hannah nodded. The thunder inside that thing is calling for something. It feels lost. Raijin's eyes flickered with lightning. Then you understand. It must be given a name. Hannah blinked. A name. Raijin nodded. You restored my name through the mask. But this storm has no face, no mask, no memory to return to. It needs someone to speak its name into being. Hannah steadied herself. Then tell me the name. Raijin shook his head. I do not know it. Only you can. The mountain shook again as the storm beast roared. Hannah felt its thunder inside her ribs. A pulse, ragged and scared. It's afraid, she whispered. Raijin placed a hand over her heart. That fear is its plea. Listen. The storm beast lunged toward the cavern. Raijin leapt upward, meeting it with a crash of lightning. The impact shook the entire mountainside. A clash of God and unbound storm. Hannah shielded her eyes. Lightning spiraled in every direction. Thunder screamed like a wounded animal. Raijin grappled the beast, pushing it back across the rocks. Hannah! He shouted over the roaring wind. It will not stop unless you name it. She ran toward them, lantern blazing. How do I name a storm? Raijin blocked a swipe of lightning claws. Storms are born from memory. Give it something to belong to. The beast turned toward Hannah. Its entire body flickered, as if recognizing the girl who had carried Raijin's mask. Hannah stepped closer. Her heart pounded with the rhythm of thunder. The beast crawled toward her, trembling, sparking uncontrollably. Raijin moved to defend her. Wait! Hannah shouted. The beast froze. Hannah felt it, deep inside the crackling air. A heartbeat, weak, lost, begging. She whispered, "You're not a monster." Raijin's eyes widened. "Hannah!" But she kept speaking. "You're Raijin's thunder. The part that was stolen. The part that didn't know where to go." The beast lowered its head. Hannah touched its lightning-scorched mane, and the storm calmed. Just a little. She closed her eyes. "What do you want to be called?" Pulse answered. Soft, faint, broken. Hannah inhaled deeply, then spoke. Kaminari no ko ***. The storm beast shuddered. Raijin gasped. "Hannah! That name," she finished softly, "means child of thunder." The beast's body flashed with blinding light. Lightning poured upward into the clouds. Wind calmed. Thunder softened. The monstrous form shrank, dissolving into arcs of blue fire, then into a swirling sphere of stormlight. Hannah held out her hands. The sphere floated gently into her palms. Warm, trembling, alive. A soft crackling voice whispered, "Kaminari, Ko." Hannah smiled. "That's you." Raijin landed beside her. He stared at the glowing sphere with awe. "You named it. You gave it a future." Hannah whispered. "It just needed someone to hear it." Raijin placed his hand over hers. "And you were born to hear the storm." The Sky Eater spirit fluttered forward timidly. Is it safe?" Raijin nodded. "Safer than I have ever been." The spirit exhaled in relief. Hannah held the sphere close. "It's warm." Raijin smiled softly. "It is thunder reborn." Lightning shimmered across his shoulders. "And thunder follows its name." Hannah looked at the sphere glowing in her hands. "Kaminari no ko. Welcome home." The sphere pulsed brightly. Then the sky rumbled. A deep, ancient rumble. Raijin stiffened. "That sound," he whispered. Hannah's lantern shook. The Sky Eater spirit squeaked in fear. In the distance, high in the storm clouds, a second roar echoed. Raijin's voice turned grave. "Hannah!" Something else woke with it. The sky above the mountain split open. Not with lightning, not with wind, but with silence so heavy it felt like the world forgot to breathe. Hannah clutched the glowing storm sphere, Kaminari no ko, against her chest. Raijin stepped forward, lightning spiraling around him like living armor. The Sky Eater spirit hid behind a pillar of rock, trembling. A second roar rolled across the heavens. Low, ancient, hungry. Hannah whispered, "That isn't Kaminari no ko, and it isn't you." Raijin nodded. "No, this storm is older than gods, older than thunder, older than the sky itself." Hannah swallowed. "What woke it?" Raijin looked at her, his storm-forged face grave. "When you restored my name, my thunder returned to the world. But the silence that replaced it did not wish to leave." Another roar shook the mountain. The clouds spiraled downward, forming a colossal vortex. Within it, a shadow formed, a towering figure made of swirling twilight, long-limbed and hollow-eyed, its chest a dark well of silence that swallowed sound itself. Hannah stepped backward. What is that?" Raijin's voice dropped into a whisper of dread. "The Hush Titan, the devourer of voices, the silent god of the first night." Hannah felt the storm sphere tremble violently in her hands. "But I thought it was only a myth." Raijin shook his head. "All myths began as storms, and all storms began as truths." Lightning flickered across his shoulders. "The Hush Titan wakes whenever thunder returns to the sky. It seeks to restore the first silence, the silence before creation." Hannah felt her pulse spike. "It wants to erase thunder." Raijin nodded slowly. "And anything that carries thunder inside it." The Hush Titan's hollow eyes turned downward, toward Hannah. The giant of silence stepped onto the mountain, his feet leaving no sound on the rocks. It stretched a skeletal hand toward her, fingers as long as tree branches, glimmering with muted twilight. A voice, if it could be called a voice, swept through the world. Not a sound, not a whisper, a pull, cold, irresistible draw, that tugged at Hannah's chest, at Kaminari no Ko, at Raijin himself. Hannah gasped. "It's draining you." Raijin gritted his teeth, lightning sputtering. "It devours anything with a name." The Titan took another step. Raijin leapt forward, striking the ground with a bolt of pure thunder. "Stay back." The Titan's hollow chest rippled, then swallowed the entire sound. Like thunder never existed. Raijin staggered. "That's impossible." Hannah grabbed his arm. "You can't fight silence with sound." Raijin looked at her, breathing hard. "Then how do we stop it?" Hannah looked down at the trembling sphere in her hands. "Kaminari no Ko." Her voice softened. "Thunder needs a face, right?" Raijin blinked. "Yes, every storm needs a face. A name." Hannah looked at the Titan. "And silence needs one too." Raijin froze. "Hannah, no." She stepped forward. "Hush, Titan." The silent god stopped. Its hollow eyes turned to her. Hannah swallowed hard. "If thunder can be born from a name, then silence can too." Raijin shouted. "Hannah, you don't know its name." "I don't need its name," she said softly. "I need to give it one." The Titan lifted its hand toward her. Raijin moved to block her, but Hannah held out her palm. "No, it's okay." The storm sphere glowed in her arms, as if urging her forward. The Titan bent down, massive face inches above hers, a void that erased light around it. Hannah whispered, "You are not a god of destruction. You are not emptiness. You are not erasure." Her voice trembled. "You are the quiet between storms, the breath before the first thunder, the peace that lets us hear the sky." The Titan froze. Hannah took a deep breath. "And your name is Shizukami, the god of sacred silence." A ripple passed through the Titan's hollow body. Its chest glowed faintly, a soft, pale light like the moon through fog. For the first time, it made a sound, a sigh, long, deep, ancient. Raijin stepped forward. "Hannah, you named silence itself." Hannah smiled weakly. Silence wasn't our enemy. It was just lost, like your thunder. Shizukami slowly lowered its head, a bow, a gesture of acceptance. The world around them softened. The wind calmed. Thunder warmed. Even the Sky Eater spirit peeked out from behind the rocks. Kaminari no Ko glowed brighter, warm and joyful. Raijin looked at Hana, voice full of wonder. You didn't defeat the storm, Hana. You completed it. Hana blushed. I just listened. Raijin smiled gently. And that is what the sky needed. Shizukami rose slowly, its form shifting into a haze of twilight and calm. It placed a hand over its chest, the place where silence once devoured thunder. Then, with a final bow, it dissolved upward into the clouds, becoming the soft stillness. Between lightning and rain, the mountain was quiet again, but not the old, heavy quiet, peaceful one. Raijin stepped beside Hana. You have given thunder a child. He nodded toward the sphere. And silence a name. Hana exhaled softly. What does that make me? Raijin smiled. The keeper of voices. The listener of storms. The girl who hears what the sky wants to say. Kaminari no Ko hovered upward, splitting into tiny bolts of warm light, before settling gently on Hana's shoulders. Like fireflies made of thunder, Raijin offered her his hand. Hana, will you walk the sky with me? She looked up, at the clouds swirling with new life, at the storm reborn, at silence finally at peace. And she smiled. Yes. They stepped into the rising wind. Hana, Raijin, the child of thunder, and the quiet god watching from above, as the sky finally remembered the song. Thank you for listening to Sleep with Myth.